everyone, welcome to the second of 3 rotoscoping with Blender workshops led by myself, Ariel Renee Jackson. I'm an Austin-based multimedia artist, and I'm going to show you the process of creating a 2D rotoscope animation using the free and open source software Blender 2.93.0. So in the first workshop, I showed you how to upload your reference material and what that might include, and followed by a quick background on the reference material I'm using. In this workshop, we're going to go over the digital grease pencil and some of the first stages of creating a smooth rotoscope. So some of the things that we're going to go over is, what is the digital grease pencil? Then I'm going to show you the zoom in and out tool, answer the question, does every frame have to be perfect? I'm going to discuss onion layering and some organic methods of animating and some other tips that I've come up with, and also a little bit about rotoscoping and appropriation. So, what is a digital grease pencil? Grease pencil is a particular type of Blender object that allows you to draw in a 3D space. It can be used to make traditional 2D animation, cutout animation, motion graphics, or simply as a storyboard tool, among other things. All right, so the grease pencil comes in whenever you switch from draw to object mode, and you go ahead and press add, you scroll down, and the grease pencil will give you 3 different options. The one we're working with is stroke, and you can see it appears on this right hand side here, but we already have one above in our collection already. So I'll try to get rid of this layer here. All right, so we're gonna zoom in. Get your image into position. What you'll notice is that I'm using these little toggles over here to zoom in and to also reposition myself right here. Okay, so we're still in object mode, so we have to go back to our drawing mode. So you select your stroke, and that enables you to go back to your drawing layer. All right, and just to double check, this is black. We will talk about color later, but remember, you can change the strength of it and everything. So with this, you should be able to just use your arrows on your keypad and be able to scroll back and forth through the different frames, like so. So we're going to start off by drawing some very simple shapes, think geometric, organic, that kind of thing. Something that you can repeat very easily. And I want to add hair to this figure. After pressing the arrow to go to the next frame, we can see that our black line is gone and it's replaced with this one.
The color of this layer is telling us that we are seeing the onion skin feature of Blender. And so onion skinning is a technique, it's the name for a technique used in animation where you're able to see several frames at once. This way, as the animator, we can make decisions on how to create or change an image based on the previous image in the sequence. Another thing that I'm doing right now is focusing on the ear and keeping the ear and the general hairline in place according to the shape of my moving image. The point of doing this animation, and also my interest in doing animation, especially through rotoscoping, has a lot to do with the physical qualities of what is possible. So incorporating paint along with digital rotoscoping, for instance. There are a myriad of approaches that artists have used to explore different techniques of animation, one of those being rotoscope.
So usually at this time, I would be watching, I don't know, my favorite TV show, whatever it is that I'm curious about learning, music, or I'll play an audiobook and zone out because I created this video using another animation process, stop motion, there are some inconsistencies where the head will appear a little bit higher up altogether. And because I'm going based on the position of the ear, I am going to have to use my onion skin layer to determine where that puff is going to be in relationship to where the head moved. So if it went up, I would follow it. And if the onion skin before my current layer is a little further down, then I will have to draw it a little further up if the head position went up, like this example right here, with the blue line and the green line all appearing, and it can get really confusing. But the green line is always going to be your most recent onion skin, but you're able to see previous layers that are further up the timeline, and those are showcased in blue. After Flesher's rotoscoping patent expired in 1934, the technique was used by various animation artists and companies such as Walt Disney. Rotoscoping was seen as a crutch by many, and despite this, Disney would encourage his crew to use live action as a foundation for heavily exaggerated and expressionistic animation. Rotoscoping animators would go on to appropriate dance moves from, among other intricate and hard to capture details of the human body. Vox released a video in December 2019 covering the use of Cab Calloway and other performers' choreography in animation throughout the first half of the 20th century. So check this out.
They used a projector hooked up to a car headlamp to amp up brightness, and it showed each frame on a screen with tracing paper. Then they just played it back, frame by frame, tracing what they needed. It had the creativity of animation, but the precision of live action. The results were astonishingly smooth, and lots of people noticed. The New York Times said Coco, the Inkwell Man, leaps as a human being, and it made sense. He was one. Take Cab Calloway's performance. Now, animators didn't have to guess what subtle movements came in the middle. They had a filmed guide to every frame.
And that wraps up workshop 2. Now, you've learned how to import reference materials and the first part of learning how to use a grease pencil tool. For our third and final workshop next week, I'll show you how to change the color and more. Bye.